Natasha Akpoti, the senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, is facing a recall process. The Independent National Electoral Commission has formally notified her of the recall proceedings and will commence scrutinizing the list of signatories submitted by the petitioners to ascertain that the petition is signed by more than half of the registered voters in the constituency.
One of the problems that is facing Nigeria as a nation today is lack of law. Is our court, our judiciary today has nothing to write home about. In fact, one of the revolution that is going to take place in Nigeria is not because of the injustice that they are being done to the Nigerian people or about the rigging of the election or INEC fraudulent manipulation of election, but for the fact that there is no hope for remedy. There is no hope. Because you turn to judiciary, which is supposed to be the hope of the common man today, is no longer hope of the common man. Okay. And that is why I'm talking about law. If indeed she faulted the law, she owed the Senate an apology. And I would say it categorically that she should apologize based on the rule that she broke at that moment, not on the sexual harassment. Okay. Listen to this. If they followed and the rule of law is followed, trust me, Senator Senator Natasha Akpoti can never and ever be recalled. In fact, it's easier for 10 camels to pass through the eyes of a needle than recalling Senator Natasha.
To understand that Senator Natasha will be coming to Kogi State, anytime this week. And there's also an understanding that the state government there has sort of placed a ban on public gatherings and convoy movement, for fear of security concerns. What's your reaction to this as an opposition party in the state?
They are just afraid of the young woman. They are afraid of her charisma. They are afraid of her followers. They are afraid of her presence.
Does her presence in the state pose any form of security concerns? Do you think that is?
Natasha has nothing to do with insecurity in the state. She just coming to agree to her constituency, which she has been doing it. Severally, she has been coming. In fact, the state government are jittering. They are trembling. Listen to this, Biodu. You see, the election that brought about Natasha is not more than 110,000. Both her score and that of her opponent, O'Hare, and the 4,000 for the rest, the remaining candidate. It is not even up more than 110,000. But these people were able to forge signature, presented the signature within how many hours? Within how many days? 250. It is not possible. There have never been such, in fact, go to the history of the election in the Central. And that is one of the major problems since they emerged of Bello as a governor of Kogi State down to Ododo. They have been manipulating election. That's why I said it earlier, the rule of law. I am for the rule of law. One of the bedrocks of democracy is the rule of law.
All right.
And when there is no rule of law, believe you me, we don't have a country. And that is the problem. So if they are afraid of her presence, because we mark this today, let Natasha enter that place tomorrow. Everywhere will turn upside down. So they are afraid of her presence, they are afraid of her followers, they are afraid of the crowd that are going to welcome her. So it will prove to the world and prove to everybody that look, the 450 signatures captured in our fraudulent signature. They cannot get 20,000 on a day. They can never get 20,000 Kogi from Central that will put down their signature for the recall of Natasha.
Okay, so in one word, sorry, we need to go. So you are saying that those signatures that are calling for a recall, maybe some of them, according to you, are not legit. Is that what you're saying?
A lot of them came out to say no, we're deceived and we're called for empowerment, not knowing they want to recall Natasha. A lot of it happened. Okay. And as you speak, there's a petition before the IG, the General Police, on the first signature of some of the electorate.
Yes, so that is the spokesperson for the Social Democratic Party SDP, Davis Ijele. So this is about the recall of Natasha Akpoti, as INEC has formally notified Natasha Akpoti of the impending recall, just the ongoing recall, I should say, rather than impending, ongoing recall by our constituency. So they are saying that they've gotten the required vote and the signatories that submitted um, the recall petition. So I think the biggest question here, one of the biggest question is here that is actually, up in the air right now is: do you think that the people who signed this recall put their signature towards recalling Natasha? Do you actually think, or do you agree with Davis Jele, that they are all fraudulent um, signatures? Um, Reason being that these people were, misled. They went for an empowerment program and they put their signatures down and they used them. So without even notifying them correctly, do you agree with Davis Jele here that um, that it is quite impossible to even recall Natasha, even getting up to 20,000 votes? But before you answer that question, for those of you who are meeting this content for the first time, please like, share, and also subscribe. We're about making sure we bring awareness towards Nigerians from now until before the 2027 election, because the more people that are aware of the corruption that is in our system, we can help sensitize more people so that they don't get to sell their votes, so that we can get the rest of the people we need in our electoral positions. And for all of you who've been following us who have not yet subscribed, please do so. And also, I want you to watch this to the end, because we're going to pose questions. This channel is all about asking each of us questions and then trying to come up with answers as well. So we want you to be part of the community, because in fixing Nigeria, it's not going to be about me. It's going to be about you. It's going to be about all of us. So there are a lot of questions that were raised here. The first thing first is that Natasha has been formally notified that the recall process has begun. So that is a given, because by the rules of the by the Constitution and the INEC rules, once they receive the petition and they receive the required number of 50% and above, they by must default investigate it. They will have to do an investigation first of all before they do a referendum, where the referendum will be a yes and a no, and then they will then say if more than 50% choose to say they need to record Natasha, then they have to go through, and then that position will now become vacant. They will have to do another re-election, another election as well again to get a new senator to represent Kogi Central. That's the INEC position and guidelines, and that's based on what the Constitution says. All right. So, but we also understand from all the videos that we've seen so far that most of the signatures were forged, and they gathered those signatures within days. In a previous video that I did, I said that Natasha Akpoti and her legal team needs to file a petition, a court petition, to actually question that lady, who obviously we've now found out to be a special assistant to the current governor of Kogi State, um, Ahmed Usman Odoto. So we've now found out that this particular lady, is actually one of his staff. So which means that this is a sponsorship by APC. Report says that this recall is actually being sponsored by Yahya Bello. Again, it won't surprise you when a person steals over 110 billion as alleged by EFCC. It's easy to actually send people around to go and, dupe other people, and to tell them that they're coming for empowerment and get their signature without their knowledge. So, but Davis actually said that it is hard to even get 20,000 Kogi Central constituents to actually recall and Natasha Akpoti, let alone 250,000. But another big question here is this: do you agree with the government, the Kogi government, that they're suspending any form of gathering in Kogi State? Now, this is due to the fact that Natasha Akpoti will be coming into Kogi Central. She's been away. She came, visited with them, and they sort of held her and they gathered around her. So they don't want that. But Kogi's current governor, Ahmed Usman Ododo, has asked that nobody should be gathering. So what that means in essence, when Natasha Akpoti is coming, because of the fact that the people love her, then they want to stop that. They don't want a sight of that. So as much as possible, they're trying to make sure that people don't gather to say we don't want that recall. So, but one thing that is pertinent that I need your answers to as well is this. This case that involves forgeries, what do you think about it? Because this is very, very common in Nigerian political sphere. Remember, when they were signing the recall, when they were suspending her, most of the people, and this is something that has been alleged against Neda Imaswan, most of the people those signatures were on that letter of suspension didn't say they were suspending her. They only put their signature down to say that they were attending the meeting for that hearing, only for that same signature to be used for suspension. So what do you think about that? Because this is something that our politicians seem to be doing. They take people's signature and use it without the people's full knowledge of it. And do you trust that the IG of police or the commissioner of police will actually really do a proper investigation, bearing in mind that they are also working with the current APC government? So whatever the government wants, they'll do. So are we really sure that they will investigate these forged signatures? Okay. If you're from Kogi State and you have been following these channels, or please enlighten us. But from all we can see here right now, my question to all of you in the comment section is, what is your take? Do you really think that Natasha Akpoti will survive this recall? Because by all indication, this is sponsored by APC. This is sponsored by Yahaya Bello. And there's every sense to believe that it's a frustration effort, even coming from as far as the Senate President, Gospel Akpabio, because they want to do everything possible to get that lady out of the Senate. You can see what is going on with the sexual harassment case in the Senate that they just tossed out right now. So all indication shows that people from Kogi Central really love the lady. All right. Regardless of how you feel, maybe you think that she's one of the elite and she's been in bed with them before, they've been friends, then we're not going to pick up their battle. But the thing is this, right? If we don't follow the right process based on the constitution, it would affect every one of us. So it's just a case of a double-edged sword. If you accept to do one way, it will cut you the other way. So what do you think? Do you agree to this analysis? Does Kogi Central deserve better than what APC is fostering on them? Because it seems to be like um, they're trying to get her out and then get Yaya Bello in. Now, the final question I want to ask is, this man says that Natasha Akpoti needs to apologize to the Senate because of the rules she flouted. Do you agree with that? Because if you're flaunting the rules and you're getting suspended because of the rules, the Senate rules, does it trump a constitutional right or the right of the people from Kogi Central to have representation? Remember, this is the same process that Tinubu did to actually oust or get rid of or suspend Fubara, by just tramping over the constitution and then getting the National Assembly to back him. Of course, the case of the bribe. So let us have that conversation in the comment section. Let me know what you think. But above all, what is your take about Natasha Akpoti in general? Do you actually believe she's one of those people, or do you believe she's actually working for the people rather than for herself? Is it one of the main reasons why the people like Yaya Bello and the current governor is afraid of her? Give us all your insight in the comment section, pardon me. And let us know what you think, and we will continue deliberations there in the comment section. Again, as always, if you're meeting this content for the first time, please like, share, and subscribe. And again, for those of you who've been following us, please subscribe if you've not yet done so. And then obviously, we will carry on with the conversations in the comment section. We want to make our country better. We need this awareness. And this criminality happening from our politicians and to us cannot continue. As always, God bless you. Have a good time until we catch up in the next video. Bye bye for now.